At London Music Masters, we are passionate about bringing professional musicians into community spaces. The impact on the community is really clear, whether we're working with school children or the elderly or just people who don't regularly come into contact with professional classical musicians. There's a huge increase in confidence, in inspiration, in creativity. What is less well understood is the impact that those same experiences have on the professional musicians themselves, and that's what we want to explore. We came together with our creative partners, the London Philharmonic Orchestra, Wigmore Hall, the London Contemporary Orchestra, and academics from the Royal College of Music to ask the question, what is the effect on professional musicians of taking part in community music projects? How does it impact them?
Because I love doing it, it was more of a joy to discover my own self working with kids. That is my dream, to discover more through music.
Despite it being a large circle, we try and make music one-to-one or in groups of 2 or 3. I think my best experience was just a duet with one man, and he was playing a drum. And we just had this musical conversation with violin and drum. And so we made a piece which lasted about a minute, and it just felt complete and good.
I've actually gotten some letters from little kids. I would like to play violin like Miss Park. Then it's like the best thing I can ever hear.
Just watching and learning and not being afraid to just play, because it will unfold. You will get something, or you give something, and it will develop. And that launch, going into the unknown and being free enough to let go and just enjoy it, has been incredible for me.
Quite often kids have the most amazing insights, because there's no filter there at all, and they just say something, and it can be the most brilliant thing. You think, wow, I couldn't have said that better myself.
It also gives me a sense of freshness, a fresh approach, because when you're a trained musician, you're trained to see music in a particular way, and when you're a young person or you're an untrained musician, you don't see music in that way. You see music just as sound and as a means to be.
They never have any prejudices or traditional way of schooling and performing, so they have a really open mind and really embrace it. So that makes it very interesting for us to work with.
And then separate? Yeah?
I have to be quite sort of analytical about music. I have to sort of take elements of it apart and to think about how I can teach that to a child, and how I can make that piece of music really engaging, and what kind of elements it can have to help with their development.
So working with children has certainly helped me, because before I say something to the kids, I have to reflect what I'm trying to say within myself. So it's a double learning experience. I learn from them as well, and I learn from myself. The way I might not reflect on myself when I'm working alone.
We were involved from the very beginning to the very end. The kids were involved in composing themselves as well. So they got something out of it. We learned from the teachers how to learn to teach and work with kids and handle a classroom. And then the teachers learned from us how to be a bit more musical. And then there was the performance at the end, which the kids were really involved in. And so everybody was learning at all times, and everybody was better at everything by the end of it.
I learn more about myself, I learn more about people, I learn from other musicians. That's really important, to see the way people approach music, and that's really rewarding, really enriching for me personally.
It's about as far away from what I do in a symphony orchestra as it's possible to get.
We start from scratch and we have no preparation. We haven't even got an idea of what we might play, because the music comes from the people in the room. and that's a great way of making music.
I think with the other educational work I do, that's had a massive effect for me.
What it makes you focus on is genuinely trying to say something to the instrument. It has been liberating, and it's been a terrific learning curve.
It's great to know that children are in the audience, so you know that there's a potential to inspire a new generation.
Even if they don't play themselves, I would love that if they would come to the concerts. They're basically the future audiences.
I think it's so important to create that link, that emotional link that sometimes just doesn't happen in concert halls. And I think it's really, really important in today's world that we're all connected and that we really make things happen together.
I think it's really important to try and engage with, especially youth, getting them to come to a venue like the Royal Festival Hall and listen to a symphony orchestra, you know, is really important. And if it takes, you know, going out of the box and maybe doing something that I hadn't really envisaged that I was training as a flautist to be doing, you know, it's an investment for classical music and the future of classical music generally.
I think children respond in a different way to a seasoned audience because they're listening to everything with new ears, and so it's a kind of fresh listening experience, and the reaction is probably much more honest and direct. Feeling a direct excitement from the audience is really exciting for a musician, and when you get that kind of energy from an audience, it always changes your performance, and almost always for the better, I think.
Well, when I came here last time, it was amazing because there were like 200 kids literally in one room, and it was ecstatic. I mean, the energy was amazing, and I really, really loved that.
You have to be as honest as possible, and you can't fake it in a way. It teaches you to not take yourself too serious. We tend to be just so serious in classical music, and actually just to let go a bit, and it's okay to be a little silly, and it's okay not to be perfect.
It's so incredible to hear from the musicians in their own words just how the creative projects that they've been part of have had an impact on them. Whether it's their musicianship, the skills that they've developed, their confidence in working with other people, it's remarkable. At London Music Masters, we work with professional musicians all the time, our artists, our ambassadors, our creative partners, and we see the impact that this kind of work has on them. Musicians out there, I would really encourage you to find a way to get involved in a music education project. It's not just important for the communities that you serve, but it's important for you. It will have a huge impact on your well-being and on your professional development.
My advice to other musicians is do it. Without a doubt, do it.
I certainly would encourage others to get involved because A, it's good for you, and B, it does so much good for other people.
Absolutely, get involved in community music project if you can. I just think the more rounded a musician can be, it's going to help in every area.
Just go for it. Go and observe lots of different types of teaching and just get stuck in and do as much as you can to see if you like it.
You will get so much out of it if you can just let go and be brave, definitely.